Okay, this is topic 8.7, graphing y equals parentheses x h plus or minus h to the power of 2 plus or minus k. So we're kind of adding everything together, and we're adding one more situation here. Before I start, I want you to put a column down the right side of this worksheet, and I want you to write right up here, I want you to write vertex. Okay, so here are some examples. Describe the change in y equals x squared for each equation. So we are going to go to our y equals, and we are going to put in our parentheses x plus 4 parentheses squared. But the first thing I want to do, I'm sorry, I meant to do under y1, I'm trying to do too many things here at the same time, is put in our x squared. Okay, so under y2, I'm going to put in x plus 4 to the power of 2. Remember, we're comparing everything to the parent function, x squared. All right, so let's hit graph. And there's my parent. Vertex is at 0, 0. Ooh, look at here. So we've done this before, and this should make sense to you by now. If it's a plus, you're moving to the left 4. So we have moved left 4, and so that puts your vertex at negative 4, 0. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one says, clear that out, and I'm going to put in x squared minus 3, and I'm going to graph that, and this is going to be a little different, because remember, when you do x squared, when you have a plus or a minus, it moves it up or down. So here, you're moving down 3, because it has the x squared there, and so your vertex now is at 0, negative 3. All right, this shouldn't be too difficult for you. Let's go to y equals, and let's change y2, and let's clear that out and put in parentheses x minus 2 parentheses squared plus 1. So we're just kind of adding everything together. When we add a 1 at the end, let's see what happens here. So we're going to graph that. There's the parent. Oh, now what happens? So this plus or minus k moved your parabola up 1. The minus 2 moved it right 2. So we know what that is, because that was like our first one that moved it left 4. It was a plus. This is a minus. So right 2. And then this plus 1, which is your k, moved it up 1. So our vertex now is at 2, 1. And if you didn't know that, you could always go to the table, second table, and you could always look here, and you would find the point where right here at 2, 1, you have 1, 2, 3 is, so you've got your parabola working right there. Okay, so let's go back to y equals, and we're just going to do the rest of these here. And I've got parentheses x plus 3 parentheses squared plus 2. I'm going to graph that. Hopefully by now you've seen the pattern, so we're going to move. The plus means we move left 3, and the plus 2 over here means we move up 2. So if I move from 0, 0, left 3, and up 2, my vertex is now at negative 3, 2. And I'm just going to kind of keep doing the same thing. I think we don't even need this anymore, but you will want to check on your calculator what's going on. And I've got parentheses x minus 4 parentheses squared, take away 2. You're going to graph it. What this tells me is right 4 and down 2. Let's see if that's correct. And there it is. So our new vertex is at 4 and 2, and you can look through a table and look at that if you're not sure. I'm sorry, -2. Okay. Oh, now we're kind of adding more, all of it all together here. Well, we know that it is going to be, because of this plus 5, it's going left 5. Because of the minus 6, because that's your k. When your k is negative, it's going to go down 6. But we've got this over here also. So that tells you that you are reflecting this parabola. It reflects, it opens downward. And these are the things that you're going to want to identify and be able to identify, if I could spell the word downward, when you're looking at these. Okay, so now I've got to figure out where is my vertex. I could put this whole thing in and then do find the vertex by left bound, right bound, or if I put it in, or I can figure out if I move left 5, that would be from 0, 0. That is at -5, where x is -5. So I believe that it's going to be left 5 and down 6 is going to be -5, -6. But let's double check it to make sure and put it in. Negative parentheses x plus 5 parentheses squared minus 6, and I'm going to graph it. It should be opening downward, and there it is at -5, -6, and you could go to the table and see that. All right, what happens when you have a coefficient of 5 in front of your x squared? I hope you remember. When it is greater than 1, it narrows your parabola, which is called a vertical stretch. Remember, it's stretching away from the x-axis, and your parabola is still at 0, 0. And here we've got y equals -1/3 x squared, and so this is going to mean that because it's less than 1, your parabola widens, which means you have a vertical compression. And it is going to reflect, which means it opens downward. Now, is it moving from is the vertex moving from 0, 0? Well, if you don't know, pause the video and check it out. But just so you know, it's at 0, 0. Okay? So, write an equation for each graphed line. If your vertex is at 0, 0, we obviously moved 1, 2, 3 to the left. So we went left 3, and then we went down 1. So how do we express that? Y equals, left 3 means we have x plus 3 squared, and then we're going to go down 1, so -1. Okay? Let's look at these graphs together. Here it's, if we're here, we've gone right 2. Okay? So right 2 and up 1, 2, 3, up 3. So we have reflected, because obviously also we have reflected. I need to see if we've done anything else. So I'm going to go over 1, down 1, over 1, 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, I'm good to go for there. So I know that the width of my parabola, it hasn't been compressed or it hasn't been vertically stretched. So I now can write y equals, I have a reflection, and I've gone right 2, so I write x minus 2 squared, and then I've moved it up 3, so that's plus 3. Okay. Here I start at 0, 0. I've gone up 1, it looks like. Up 1, but I've also reflected. Okay, so now I'm going to check to make sure it hasn't widened or compressed. I've got 1 over, 1 down, 2 over, 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So it hasn't widened or compressed. So that means all I have is y equals x plus 1. I'm sorry. I'm writing this wrong. That's bad. Okay, I've got negative x squared plus 1. Sorry about that. Okay, 2 more to go. Start at 0, 0. I am going over 1, so I'm going to the left 1, and I've gone down 2. It's not reflected, and then I want to check to see if it's been compressed or if it has been widened. So I'm going to go over 1 and up 1. Then I'm going to come back, go over 1, 2, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, and I hit the graph. So I know that's good to go. So all I have is y is equal to, remember left is actually a plus, so I have x plus 1 squared, and then I moved it down 2, so it's going to be minus 2. All right, last one. Okay, so I've moved to the right 1, and I've moved down 1, and I have reflected. I'm going to check for that last to see if it has been compressed or stretched. I'm going over 1 and 1, and I'm going to go over 2 and down 1, 2, and I know I can't quite see it, but having that over 1 and down 1 is probably sufficient. So now I know I have y equals negative parentheses x minus 1 squared minus 1. Okay? You shouldn't have any problems with the assignment. Please be specific. Tell me the direction on the assignment. It looks like this. Tell me the direction. I would like for you to make that second column and go ahead and tell me where the vertex is. I realize I didn't put that on the copies when I made it, but I would like you to do that. It would be good for you to note where the vertexes are on all your graphs. And I know this thing has stopped, but it is still recording and hearing my voice, so maybe I will go ahead and put that information there so you will have it, okay? All right, that's it for today.